and hopefully it can power away from them and get its first win in Australia.
And he's going to crack it for his first win on Australian soil. Boniface narrowly at the end from So You Are, and Methuselah flashing home.
Hello everyone, welcome to this week's preview. Group 1 Memsie Stakes Day. What a race the Memsie Stakes sets up to be. So many chances, so many good horses in that race. Cannot wait for that. Before we get on to anything in the preview, I just want to quickly mention that I will be doing a live stream this Saturday, aiming to start around the 2:30 p.m. mark. Obviously, if you remember last time, I was able to tip about 3 double-figure winners in the space of an hour. I was pretty happy with myself that day, so hopefully we can do the same again on Saturday. Should be a lot of fun. Now moving on to the Fan Cup, BBR currently in the lead, a big lead by 190 in the balance column. And if we take a look at the overall leaderboard, 11 cents after 12 bets split Razzle Dazzle and BBR. So both those boys are flying with their best bets. You can join up the Fan Cup as well. Just leave your best bet in the comments section down below. Without any further ado, let's get on with Caulfield. Well, this graphic looks a little bit different, doesn't it? I saw that comment last week saying I should just pick who I think will win. So I thought, yeah, fair enough. And we move on. So race 1, Fillies and Mares, benchmark 78 over 1400 metres. On top for me here was Enviable. This horse is third up on Saturday, 4 weeks in between runs. I see that to be ideal. James McDonald booked from gate 10, hopefully just roll forward, maybe end up outside the leader, which could be Davida. And if she does that, I think she's going to be hard to beat. Didn't see too much value outside of her. Race 2 is a benchmark 78 over 1800 metres. I'm happy to stick with MacDane here. It's off the week back up, gets back to Caulfield. It maps nicely from gate 4, so I think it's going to be hard to beat. The horse I thought was over the odds is Raff Attack. It wasn't disgraced first up at Flemington behind Itazura. Has had a jump out since then. Jumps up 400 metres in distance, which is ideal. I think it's way over the odds. Race 3 is an open handicap over 2,000 metres. It's hard to go past Dark Bonnet here. The last start win was sensational at Caulfield. Jamie Mellum sticks with this horse. It's third up. It should be winning again in my opinion. And the value in the race I thought was Berkeley Square. Missed the start badly first up in that Dark Bonnet race. And with the big weight ran quite well. Its second up record's good. Stepping up to 2,000's good. It's the one that represented the most value in my opinion. Caulfield race 4 is a benchmark 84 over 1,400 metres. And I'm with the third emergency in cruiserweight. He needs to get a run. But if he does, he's going to be awfully hard to beat. Maps really well from gate 4. I liked 5 weeks between runs with him. Jump out since his last run. I think he'll be back to his best, and he looks to be a very good horse on the rise. So cruiserweight for me. There's 2 horses I thought were over the odds. The first of those being LOU. Holly Durnan claims 3 kilos. Hard fit, rolls forward. It'll be hard to beat. And the other one, which isn't on the screen, is Water Sports. First up, Craig Williams. It'll go well. For the remaining 6 races at Caulfield, I've gone back through the last 15 years of the race, recorded some form factors about the winners, and we're able to get an overall score based on how well a horse in this year's edition of the race lines up with that of the previous winners of that specific race. So a screen will look like this. It'll only show the win score, but in the background, all the form factors have gone into that score. So I'll guide you through it along the way, but this is pretty much what it'll look like. So race 5 is the Cochrane Stakes, Group 3, mares 1,200 metres. Not too many horses align with that of a Cochrane winner in the past, with all the scores being in the negatives. Photograph gets the biggest score. It got quite a good result in the last start distance column of 1,100 metres. There's been a lot of Cochrane Stakes winners come through an 1,100 metre race to win. However, all those horses have had a couple of runs under their belt, whereas Photograph is first up. So I'm happy to look past that. The 2 right at the top that score well that I can't really fault are Belle Chevelle and Salty Pearl. Obviously, both will want further in time, but we've seen a lot of good horses that are better over further go first up in the Cochrane Stakes and win. So if I was backing anything in this race, which I won't be, it'd be Belle Chevelle and Salty Pearl. The only reason why Shadavar isn't well clear in this point system like the market suggests, well, not the only reason, but it's one of the main reasons, is the position in runs. So a lot of Cochrane winners in the past are able to settle midfield and swoop down the outside off that fast tempo. Well, Shadavar is going to be a part of that fast tempo with horses like itself, Rota Arataki, Bossy Bonita, Betwitchery and Pondalawi probably all vying for the lead. So I think a horse like Belchevelle or Salty Pearl will be able to settle off that speed and fly home. Race 6 is the Group 3, the Heath over 1100 metres. Bridal Waltz was the highest scorer here. She comes through a Group 1, the Sangster, which gets her a good score. Her position in run score is also very good as she settles on speed. It's highly advantageous in the Heath in recent years to settle right there on speed, which is what Bridal Waltz will do. So it comes out on top. The one that the market has missed, according to the point system, is Don't Hope Do. It's another one that goes forward, and I personally think it's over the odds as well. First up last time, it finished second, beaten ahead by Oak Hill at this track and distance in the Group 2 Rubiton Stakes. That's pretty good form, and Don't Hope Do will likely settle on the outside of whoever leads, whether that be Bridal Waltz or Live Another Day. Whilst Live Another Day scores quite well, it lost a little bit of the points due to it coming through the Wongoom. Not saying the Wongoom is a bad lead-up race, it's just not as strong as the Group 1 Sangster like Bridal Waltz, for example. Race 7 is the Group 3 McNeil Stakes for the 3-year-olds over 1200 metres. Confederation is a clear standout on the point system here. For the amount of horses that try to win the McNeil coming out of the Vane Stakes, there's not many that attempt it, and Confederation is the only horse in this race that comes through the Vane Stakes, and it ran well that day, finishing third behind Hard Kick and Organised Crime. So at $11, James McDonald aboard. It'll be the bet for me in that race based on the point system. The other one that the point system thinks is over the odds is Sarah Fox. Comes through the 1400 metre race at Flemington last start way back in April. It ran pretty well there, and I think it's going to fly home late. There is one horse that is deep in the red that is well fancied in the market, and that is American Eagle. The reason why it didn't score so well is coming through a 2-year-old handicap on a Wednesday. I know it beat Judas Tree that day, and it's going on to win on a Saturday, but it's a fair step up in class here. And as well as that, it might sound silly, but coming through a 1200 metre race is not ideal heading into the McNeil Stakes for the amount of horses that attempt it. You either want to come through the Vane or the Quizette at 1100 metres, or return first up from, let's say, a Size Produce or an Anzac Day Stakes over 1400. Here we go, race 8, the Group 1 Memsie Stakes at Caulfield over 1400 metres. I've done second and third for this one. Bayvarked, Angel Capital and Cosmic Crusader poll well across all categories. Jimmy Star doesn't poll too well. Treasure the Moment doesn't poll too well. Autumn Boys, okay. Let's dissect all of this. I first want to bring up the speed map that I did up last night. If I was going to change anything now, it'd probably be to swap Jimmy Star and Sabaj. Whilst I don't think Jimmy Star is going to be ridden aggressively in the early stages, I do think it's going to want to hold a spot close enough to the leader, so it might be 6th on the back of Cosmic Crusader, who is the main talking point of this speed map. Cosmic Crusader, what does Willie Pike do from out there? I think the only way Cosmic Crusader can win is if it goes forward. We've seen in the past 14 years of the Memsie, only 2 horses have drawn gate 8 or wider and have won the Memsie Stakes, Mr. Brightside and Behemoth. And at the 600 metre mark of their Memsie Stakes wins, they were both third, 3 wide, no cover. So that just shows that you'd rather be third, 3 wide, no cover than go right back to last from the gate. You're a better chance of winning being 3 wide, no cover in third. And that can be backed up by Cosmic Crusader also having the race fitness over some of its key rivals. So it might be able to take that wide run and still be able to win. It's very, very interesting what Willie Pike will do from that outside draw. Now back to the point system and why some horses poll better than others. Let's start with Jimmy Star. Now that question mark next to the odds means that the point system thinks it's okay. A cross would be the point system doesn't like it, and a tick would mean the point system likes it. So Jimmy Star, what the tick and the cross down the bottom mean is their best trait and worst trait for the point system overall. So its best trait was its last start, Jimmy Star. It was a very good run in the Kingsford Smith Cup, but it and all horses got heavily penalised if they were first up. Now, I know you could argue that Jimmy Star has the residual fitness from the Queensland Winter Carnival, but I still class it as first up. And for the amount of horses that run in the Memsie Stakes that are first up, there's a lot of winners that are race fit throughout that winter or have come back and had 1 or 2 runs at the start of August. So Jimmy Star is okay. Let's move on. I'd say that he's a winning chance, but I don't think he's the best winning chance. The next one up is Cosmic Crusader, who polls very well. Being third up and having the race fitness is, like I said with Jimmy Star, all horses got penalised that were first up pretty badly. So Cosmic Crusader, having that race fitness is ideal, but obviously the query is that wide gate. And if it does go back, I don't think it can win personally. So I think his only hope is to roll forward. The next one is Bayvakt, who is my bet in the race. Now, I almost made Bayvakt a unit play. I just would have liked a little bit bigger of a price. And if it was the price that it was last night, I would have definitely made it a unit play. But it comes through the all-aged at 1,400 metres. And that's actually really good for a Memsie winner. Coming through a 1,400 metre race, has got a very good strike rate. And the only thing it got penalised for really is being first up. I think the barrier is very good for Treasure the Moment. It's drawn out in gate 6. It can either hunt up and settle outside Bayvakt, or it can let Mr. Brightside cross and settle 1 out 1 back. Personally, I'd be trying to settle 1 out 1 back and get some cover. Being first up, got penalised. Autumn Boy, the similar story to Treasure the Moment. It's first up, it got penalised, but it maps for a very good run from the barrier. And then the other one is Angel Capital. Now, being second up horses have an exceptional strike rate in the Memsie Stakes. Pinstriped, Mr. Brightside, Behemoth. In both years it won the Memsie. Humidor, Vega Magic, they were all second up and they won. So it's got a very good strike rate. Didn't really find too many negatives in the point system. The only thing being that it's Angel Capital and it finds a way to get itself beat. I personally might even back Angel Capital as a saver for my Bayvakt bet, because I do think at $8.50 it looks pretty juicy considering he's at 1,400 metres and he maps to be around midfield. So I like Angel Capital and Bayvakt overall. Race 9 is the Heatherly over 1,700 metres. It's 3 horses that were standouts on the point system. Just Folk, Yellow Jersey, and also First Chorus. Yellow Jersey is short. First Chorus is $6. Just Folk is $13, which is why I'm going for Just Folk. Why Just Folk polled so well? Well, it's race fit. It's been racing all throughout the winter, and that's usually a good lead into the Heatherly, whereas a lot of horses are returning first up. It comes through a 1,600 metre race as well, which is ideal. So Just Folk at the price Blake Shin rides is good. If you're looking for a couple of roughies, the only ones that I could really entertain based off the point system were Deacon and Middle Earth, but mainly happy to follow Just Folk. Caulfield race 10 is a benchmark 100 over 1,400 metres. I've got nothing on the right hand of screen. There was no real edges in the market compared to the point system. Sass Appeal and 10 Commandments both lead the way on the point system with 7 points. My favourite horse at the moment is Sass Appeal, so I'm just going to go with her. Now moving on to the Blackbookers, it was a very good week last week with 4 out of the 8 Blackbookers I wanted to back winning. Prima Bella, Final Moment, Cavalry Girl and Stay Silent. So it was good day to be a Blackbooker follower. This week, there's only 3 Blackbookers I want to back. The first one is Home Rule, loves the Caulfield 1400, has beaten market expectation 4 of 4 times at that track and distance. Poker Jack has beaten the market expectation in his last 6 runs when 3 weeks between runs. Nice little bit of value, Rosehill race 6. And once again, Romeo's Choice, who when 2 weeks between runs has beaten the market 8 out of 9 times. So 3 roughies for the Blackbookers on Saturday. Rosehill race 6, that is supposed to say Rosehill. 2.25 units the win on horse number 7, Street Artist at $3.10. This was Street Artist last start run behind Polyglot, where it got well back, but it was able to thread through the field and another 25 metres and it would have got Polyglot. It's a similar story, I think, on Saturday. It's drawn gate 13. It is going to go back and probably need to run past them all. However, there's an abundance of early speed in this race. There's a good amount of horses that either lead or settle on speed. I think it's going to be a fast pace up front, set up for something to swoop down the outside, and I think that horse will be Street Artist. It's good enough, it's capable, I want to be on. Rosehill race 10, I'm going to have 2.5 units to win on horse 12, Amazing Eagle, at $2.30. This was Amazing Eagle's last start run. It was first up on this day when beaten by Prima Bella. Now, Prima Bella has since franked the form and won last week in quite a good race. Amazing Eagle will be fitter for that first up run, drops down 2.5 kilos in weight, gets in with a 52.5 kilos, which is absolutely ideal. I think it'll either be fifth the inside or in the box seat, more preferably in the box seat, but I don't mind which. It's still pretty progressive, only having the 9 career starts to date. Hopefully it can win the last. It's that time of the week. It's Last Man Standing. Makes its return for the spring of 2026. And thank you to everyone who sent through a DM wanting to join up the Last Man Standing. I reckon I got about 15 DMs in the end. So the first 4 got in. Adzi, Bill, Hayden, but not the same Hayden as last time, and Huggy, and then finally myself, as always. So this is what we're doing for week number 1. Adzi's going $90 the win on Sass Appeal, and then a $10 win all up. Cruiserweight into War Machine, into Shadavar, into Treasure the Moment, Yellow Jersey, and also Sass Appeal. So if that gets up, we stand no chance. Adzi will win the whole thing. Hayden's going for 50 the win on Plagiarism, 50 the win on Blue Door up in Sydney. Huggy's going to have 60 the win Shadavar, 5 the win Barclay Square, then a $20 win all up Blue Door into Cosmic Crusader, and a $15 win all up Zafar over in New Zealand, into Blue Door, into Fully Lit, into Grand Impact. The way I won it last time was through the place all up, so I'm just going to have a place all up. Street Artist into Amazing Eagle. It's paying about $1.90 at the moment. It's a marathon, not a sprint, so just got to keep going through the 3 months of the Last Man Standing. And Bill hasn't got me through the bets yet, so that'll be a $50 deduction for him, and hopefully he can get him through by Saturday. And if he does, it'll be in the YouTube posts that I usually do on Saturday morning to see his bets. It's not often that I have a unit play at double figures. Morphettville race 7, number 8, Freedom Flame, 0.25 units to win on at $15. This was Freedom Flame's run in the Aurora Stakes last autumn. There were no replays of the jump outs available on racing.com when I had a look, so I just had to pick a race from last prep, and I chose the Aurora Stakes. Got nabbed on the line by Mating Call, who is the favourite for this same race on Saturday. This was over 1,800. The race on Saturday is over 1,200. So Freedom Flame will need further, and that's probably why we're getting such a big price. However, from all reports, the 2 jump outs leading in have been very solid pieces of work. And I think, considering Morphettville's going to be a soft 7, maybe heavy 8 on Saturday, you're going to need to be able to run a strong 1,300 metres to win this 1,200 metre race on Saturday, which is why I think a horse like Freedom Flame will be able to fly late and win. Gets in with a 54 kilos from gate 7, should be midfield, one off the inside, hopefully, and I think it's over the odds at $15. Now moving on to Futures Watch, there's a couple of horses I want to watch this week at Caulfield. The first one being St. George in race 3. Now in this particular race in the last 2 years, the open handicap over 2,000 metres, Kieran Maher in 2024 had a horse called Duke de Sessa, carried 61 kilos, had around 20 starts to date, and ran second, then went on to win the Caulfield Cup. Last year it was Middle Earth, carried the 62 kilos, around the 20 starts to date. It then went on to disappoint in the Caulfield Cup, but run third in the Melbourne Cup. This year Kieran Maher's got St. George, who carries a big weight in the race, but if he can run very well, let's say top 3, I'd be on him for a Caulfield Cup, especially at those odds, $34 and $9.50. He will probably shorten if he runs well on Saturday, so St George for the Caulfield Cup to keep an eye on. The other one is Sassapil. So last year in this particular race, Sepples won by about 4 lengths, and then all the way back in 2022, I Wish I Win won by about 4 lengths. Both 4-year-olds, both big margin wins. So if Sassapil can win by a big margin on Saturday, keep an eye out for it for the Golden Eagle. Obviously, She's Alibi is going to be hard to beat, but maybe a place for Sassapil if it was able to absolutely bolt in on Saturday. Now moving on to Let It Ride. It's been a while since I've had 2 back-to-back losses in a row for the Let It Ride, maybe 6 months now, so it's unusual, but on Saturday, I'm going to go Street Artist the place. I was tossing up between Amazing Eagle and Street Artist, obviously, and I just went Street Artist because it's better odds for the place. Well, thanks everyone for watching this week's preview. It's currently a 5-unit spend across these 3 selections. Can't wait for Saturday's racing. It's been a while since I've talked about this, but the merch is still available. We've got the polo tops, the hoodies, and also the caps, as you can see on the screen. Different colours, different sizes. And if you want any of the merch, email the seminatormerch@gmail.com. Thanks everyone once again for watching this week's preview, and until next video, bye for now.